And we're live Sunday afternoon, August 27th. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about Idalia, which will be coming up in the Gulf of Mexico as a hurricane. That's obviously the focus here. We'll talk about other things happening as well. Let's begin with the upper air look across the country this afternoon. And again, the ridge is beginning to weaken across Alabama in the deep south. Understand it is still hot. And for many places, it is still dry, but at least we're seeing some signs of change that are starting to happen here. And we're going to see some heat relief this week, which is certainly some good news. It's been pretty rough here lately, but again, a fairly good chance we're going to see temperatures in the 80s for the northern half of the state. Let's peek at the radar quickly. And again, this is what it looks like this afternoon at 4:14. I'm live here. And again, you can see random scattered showers and storms in progress across the state. We've had a few in the Birmingham metro, and understand where these storms form, they're going to come up fast, and they could produce a microburst fast. Really no time for a warning, and we've had some of this today. In fact, Interstate 65 for a while was blocked down in Baldwin County between Atmore and Bay Minette because of downed trees. We've had similar storms in scattered pockets, and these will continue to develop over the next several hours. And again, notice the outflow boundaries stretching out from those storms. So just be aware that we're going to see scattered storms. Those will pack a punch through the evening hours. Visible satellite view. Again, you can see the pockets of convection there across the state. Heat levels generally are down today. Many spots are in the 80s over the northern half, but not everybody. In fact, Montgomery is still just scorching hot today with 101, Mobile at 99. But again, this week, heat levels coming down statewide. Here's the severe weather outlook for the rest of today and tonight. Much of the state in a marginal risk, level 1 out of 5, of severe storms for the microburst potential. So just be aware when the storms pop up, and they'll come up in a hurry. They could produce strong winds, and then they dissipate in a hurry. And pretty much the same situation tomorrow. I think the showers and storms should be a bit more numerous. They'll be a little more active, and your chance of getting wet is up about 50-50 tomorrow. And just be aware of the microburst potential. And then on Tuesday, day 3, we have a marginal risk on the west coast of Florida, and that's an association with Idalia coming in. That would include areas from near Cedar Key down toward Tampa Bay and Fort Myers for the possibility of a few isolated tornadoes. So this is the rain for the next 7 days. The big rains will be over the Florida Peninsula and parts of southern Georgia and the Carolinas with Idalia. In Alabama, I don't think we see a lot of direct rain from this. The rain you see here, that's not related to the tropical system. That's the rain that we'll probably see tomorrow and Tuesday. But the really big rain should be east of Alabama with the tropical system. Again, parts of the Florida Peninsula, Georgia, and the Carolinas. So let's talk tropics. We've got 2 systems on the board, only 2. Franklin, a hurricane that's east of the Bahamas, and Idalia, which is a tropical storm near the tip of Yucatan. And we also note a new wave will be coming across or coming off the coast of Africa in a day or two. And for now, that only has a 20% chance of developing. So really, the only 2 systems on the board are Franklin and Idalia. Franklin could become a major hurricane tomorrow. It would be passing a little to the west of Bermuda and then hooking out into the open Atlantic. Far, far east of the United States. So obviously the main reason we're here today, it's this thing. This is what was Tropical Depression 10. This was upgraded this morning about 11 o'clock to Tropical Storm Idalia. And you can see the low-level swirl that's off the coast of Mexico, off the coast of Yucatan, and it's very disorganized. And it's basically doing a loop today is what this thing has been doing. If you watch the low-level swirl, there's a slow loop. But with time, this should begin to move northward, and this is the new forecast package just in from the National Hurricane Center. This is the 4 o'clock Central Time Advisory. And should be a hurricane by tomorrow night, and then it comes up into Florida by early Wednesday. The National Hurricane Center has posted a hurricane watch for the areas in pink on that map. And this is from Indian Pass, which is east of Panama City. Indian Pass down below Tampa Bay, down toward Fort Myers. And again, that's a pretty long stretch with a hurricane watch, but the west coast of Florida, Tampa Bay, places like that, they'll be exposed to the bad side, the east side of the system here. So just be aware that's your primary danger directly in terms of wind, rain, storm surge. And remember, the big impact will be along and to the right of where this thing makes landfall. And with this approach, it'll be along into the south, down the west coast of Florida. And we do have the data that is in from the Hurricane Hunter aircraft and the research aircraft in there today. So modeling we feel better about modeling now. And again, this is the ensemble view from the different global models, and you get the idea. The agreement is pretty good with this thing coming in toward the Big Bend region of Florida. But understand, this could still change. This is the newer model run by NOAA. This is the HAFS, the Hurricane Analysis and Forecast System, and it's in good agreement with the global models and everybody else. It's got the thing coming up into that Big Bend region of Florida. And this thing did pretty well with our Eastern Pacific system of about 10 to 15 days ago. And let me drop in the ATCF set so you can see that. And again, the agreement is very good with all the other models coming right up toward that Big Bend region of Florida. So the confidence is relatively high in the track. This is where we don't have a lot of confidence. It's the intensity. And the intensity skill is always lagged behind the track skill in forecasting hurricanes. Most of the members here in the ATCF set keep this as a Category 1 hurricane. You've got a few that bring it up to Category 2 strength, and the question is, could this be a major at the time of landfall? And it could, and I think that's what people need to prepare for in the hurricane watch area. Again, the rapid intensification process, forecasting that is not as easy as it seems. And there's a lot more to forecasting hurricane strength other than warm SSTs. And there will be some shear involved in this, a little shear, westerly shear. But again, we've seen models ranging from a very minimal hurricane to a major hurricane. But in any case like this, the advice is for those that are in the hurricane watch area to prepare for a major hurricane. So again, this is your new track from the Hurricane Center. It comes in north of Tampa Bay, near or north of Cedar Key, Wednesday morning, late tomorrow night. And the hurricane force wind gusts could begin on the west coast of Florida as early as the day Tuesday, so be aware of that. And of course, if you're in Alabama, Alabama's on the dry side here. You can see Alabama's in no cone of uncertainty. And I just don't expect any direct wind or rain, even in Dothan or Enterprise. The chance is fading at this point. And let me just say this, too. A lot of people have beach trips planned to Fort Walton Beach and Destin and Panama City. And I don't like to give advice. I can't do that. I don't know your risk tolerance, and I don't know why you're going to the beach. Some people go to the beach to swim in the water. And if that's the case, it's no good because you'll have double red flags tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday. The surf will improve there by Thursday and Friday. But if you're going for the sole purpose of swimming in the ocean, might not be worth it. I don't go to do that. When I go down there, I go to get something to eat and just enjoy the scene. So, but in terms of the storm surge, no. The storm surge, Panama City, it's all on the good side. Panama City is not in the hurricane watch. Now, will it be windy at times? Yes. Will there be some rain? Probably. But the big impact of this hurricane should be well east of Panama City, based on what we're seeing now, Sunday afternoon. I would not hesitate to go, but that's me, and I can't tell you what to do. But again, Destin, Panama City, not in the hurricane watch. We'll put it that way. So real quick, we'll go through the GFS model fans. This is the 12Z run valid tomorrow at 4. And again, the ridge is kind of gone, replaced by troughing, and that means an increase in the number of showers and thunderstorms around here in Alabama. Highs will be most likely in the 80s over the northern half of the state with 90s to the south. So this is Tuesday, and again, we've got the approach of Idalia in the eastern Gulf. Again, we'll see a number of showers and storms around, not directly related to the tropical system in Alabama. Again, 80s for North Alabama, low 90s for the south. And then Wednesday afternoon, Idalia is in over South Georgia. And again, there might be some wind and rain for the extreme southeastern tip of the state, but it sure looks like it. The bulk of the impact of this will be east of Alabama, the Florida Peninsula, Georgia, and the Carolinas. And we're going to see a northerly flow here on the backside of that thing on Wednesday. So could there be a few showers? Yes, probably not too many. And then Thursday looks good. We'll have a continental air mass in place as Idalia moves away. We'll be in the 60s, maybe some 50s in cooler pockets, highs upper 80s. Friday and Saturday. And then for the Labor Day weekend, things look awfully quiet as the ridge begins to rebuild. This is Saturday. Let's go out to a week from today, Sunday the 3rd of September. Yeah, the ridge growing again, and that looks dry. So for now, we look to be dry really for the bulk of the Labor Day weekend with increasing heat levels. Let's go out 10 days. This is Wednesday, September 6th. That old big, ugly, nasty heat bubble back. And look, it can be really hot here in September. I say it every year, but people tend to forget. But trust me, it doesn't magically turn cool in September here. And that suggests a few isolated showers. Rain for Birmingham coming off the GFS ensemble. The mean about 2 inches between now and the 13th of September. And you can see the heat levels coming down by Wednesday, the high 84. But then back in the low 90s by the Labor Day weekend. And that's what you expect Labor Day this time of the year. But if you're looking for cool weather in mid-September, I don't know. This is the new 8 to 14-day guidance. This is for September 4th through the 10th. And the big nasty, the heat dome is back. Temperatures will likely be above average. So once again, if you're just joining us, and I can't stay much longer because got to do some television. We'll be over here in the Studio A here shortly for the 5 o'clock news, 5 o'clock Central Time. But if you're just joining us, this is Idalia, the tropical storm near the Yucatan Channel. Very disorganized. Top winds only 30, 35 miles an hour. But this is expected to ultimately move north and get its act together. This is the new 4 p.m. advisory from the Hurricane Center. They bring it into the Florida Big Bend region north of Tampa Bay early Wednesday morning. And the intensity forecast is a problem. This could be anywhere from a Category 1 to a major hurricane. That's the biggest challenge here. The hurricane watch is for the areas in pink on that map from Indian Pass down below Tampa Bay, down toward Fort Myers, Punta Gorda. Again, this will, places like Panama City, Destin, not in the hurricane watch. Alabama Gulf Coast, minimal impact, except all of the central Gulf Coast will have the double red flags because of the rip current danger. And again, the modeling is in pretty good agreement. The Hurricane Center track modeling, all very good agreement. We have the new dropson data in. And again, the confidence is high in the track. The biggest issue, it's the wind. And again, this we're seeing quite a bit of spread here because of the uncertainty, the amount of shear over the system. But as we always say, we would advise to plan for the worst case scenario, which would be a major hurricane. It's just a course of least regret for those in the hurricane watch area. So again, landfall will likely come at some point early Wednesday morning north of Tampa Bay, maybe up towards Cedar Key. Remember, as you look at this map, the main impact in terms of wind, rain, flooding, storm surge will be along and to the right of where this thing makes landfall, to the south, down the Florida west coast. Tampa Bay will be on the ugly side of this. A lot of questions about Tampa, St. Petersburg. They'll need to prepare for hurricane conditions. And if for Orlando, there could be a lot of wind, a lot of rain during the day Wednesday. And if you're in Jacksonville, Florida, again, you can see a lot of wind, a lot of rain. Of course, it'll be diminishing down to a tropical storm by Wednesday afternoon. But still, Wednesday should be a pretty rough ride for Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa Bay, places like that. And remember, as we always say, everything you see here could change. So just be aware of that. And we'll be back with the next video here by early tomorrow morning. For those that are new here, I do these every day during the week, and on weekends like this as needed. In the morning, we're typically live on YouTube and Facebook. We simulcast on both platforms at about 5:15. The afternoon videos about 2:45. And, of course, we have notes over on the blog, alabamawx.com. And a busy week ahead. Just a quick peek at the schedule. Going to be at Bluntsville Elementary School up in Blount County tomorrow. Briarwood, going to see the senior adults at Briarwood Presbyterian on Tuesday. Wednesday, I'll be at Gaston School in Etowah County near Gadsden. Thursday, Hackleburg Elementary School. Of course, we all know Hackleburg from that horrible EF5 tornado, April 27, 2011. They know tornadoes well. And then Summerton Christian in Walker County on Friday, September 1st, as we approach that Labor Day weekend. And again, we invite you to watch us on television. ABC 3340 News, right across the hall over there in Studio A. On Sundays, we're live at 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.